Welcome back to Ripe Avocados. Excuse me. Today we're gonna do Wake Up Dead Man, the third installation of Knives Out. So if you've seen those, you'll know what we're talking about. A lot of big names in this movie, so let's get into it. Hear what this thing was about and score it.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day.
Knives Out 3 is another movie where we see Detective Benoit Blanc, aka Daniel Craig, on the big screen solving another case. This one is in a small town in upstate New York, and Monsignor Jefferson Wicks, who is played by Josh Brolin, ends up dying during a church service. And it's seemingly an impossible crime because all the people in the church and anyone who would have wanted him dead are all out in the open, and everyone can see them. And he dies in a little box in the corner, and no one knows how he died. And Detective Benoit Blanc has to team up with Father Judd, played by, I believe it's what's
Josh
his name?
O'Connor.
Josh O'Connor, yes, the guy from
Yeah,
Challengers.
from Challengers.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And
Sean's favorite movie.
yeah, it's my dream. And Benoit Blanc teams up with Father Judd and Mila Kunis, who plays a detective in the
Oh
town.
yeah.
And they have to solve who killed Jefferson Wicks and why.
Yeah, and it becomes pretty convoluted. It's not a simple answer,
No.
as most of these movies have not been. I don't even really remember how Glass Onion played out. That one was kind of bad, but obviously Ana de Armas is the culprit in the first movie, but it's not as nefarious as it leads to be. This
Well,
one
Chris
is more
Evans
cut and
ends up being the one that...
right, right. Ana de Armas is the one that it's been a while since I've seen that one, but I remember Ana de Armas was hiding a lot of information, but she really wasn't coming from a bad place. Whereas this one kind of those characters are sort of passed on to Josh O'Connor. Like Armas's character is a little bit of that same embodiment where most of the story is told through Josh O'Connor. You are very wrapped up in his life story. They give you a biography before. I loved the opening of this movie.
Yeah.
The way we get the pen to paper, and probably what 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so is Benoit Blanc reading that piece of his confession.
I would
basically, of, like,
I would
what
argue
happened.
that more than 10 to 15 minutes of it. I would say the first third of the movie is almost you learning about these characters through Josh O'Connor telling Benoit Blanc about all these people. Because Benoit Blanc comes in like
At
30 minutes, 40 minutes.
No, it's 40.
Yeah,
Yeah,
40
'cause I
minutes. And he doesn't know what's going on, so he has to talk to Father Judd about this and is like, hey, lay out everything you know about these people. That way I can help you solve this case.
Right. And the cool piece of that is we have Josh O'Connor actually narrating it, because it's through Benoit Blanc's point of view, like all of these movies are, but we're reading it in his mind. So he's just reading it with his voice. But I loved that because they showed the pen, not the pen break, but the pen stops at one point when Josh O'Connor pauses in the story. And then you realize that he's the one writing it and that Daniel Craig is trying to gather information about it. But I thought that was a cool little niche way to introduce Daniel Craig to the movie. Because, like I said in the beginning, I didn't really know too much of this marketing of this movie getting released. And I wasn't even sure if Daniel Craig was going to be in it, but I was like, he's got to be in this. But he's really taken his time, like, getting in here, and then he showed up. But overall, man, I really liked this movie. I thought it was good. In comparison to the original, I want to say it was pretty close to that one, but the original always usually gets that extra nod. So I'm not going to say it was better than one, and it's also been a little while since I've seen one.
For me, it's definitely not better than one. And I thought it would be better than 2, but I rewatched Glass Onion last night, and after rewatching Glass Onion, I was like, I don't know, this might be my third favorite Knives Out movie. I think it might go
Is
1, 2, 3 for me, as
is
generic and
is
basic as
Glass
that is.
is Glass Onion the tenet of murder mysteries? Are we gonna look back on it
Dude, I wouldn't compare
2, 3
Tenet to
years?
anything.
No, I'm a Tenet truther, but I've not gone back and rewatched Tenet. The first time I ever saw it, though, I was just anti the narrative. A lot of people hated it, but you just couldn't hear what they were saying. Like you needed subtitles in the theater, whatever. I'm not gonna let's not get into Tenet, but this movie, again, I thought it was good. The pieces of it that I really liked, we still had. It's still kind of told through that same like frame of mind of Rian Johnson. Like he's got his fingerprints all over this. It's those like silhouette looking shots that he has in here. I mean, I'll save some of this for cinematography, but it's kind of told through it's always told through this narration style, which is very interesting. A lot of talking in this movie, but I wasn't bored at any point. I think Josh O'Connor was phenomenal, to be honest, because the only other thing I'd seen him in was borderline porn in Challenges.
That was
Just
great.
a little bit of spoiler for you. Yeah, that's Sean's favorite movie, so he could tell you more about that at a later date probably. But this guy he really impressed me. I thought he held it down a lot. Daniel Craig is one of the best actors of the generation, probably. I mean, he doesn't get put in that category, but he's just so solid in everything that he's in. I think
I think,
the accent's
yeah.
a little much, but he's good.
Yeah. He the problem is I think he gets bucketed into the quote unquote like James Bond actors, but the problem is he added another depth and level to James Bond. Like
Yeah.
he did it better than just, oh, this guy's a suave spy. Like no, he added levels of depression, anxiety, like other things to the character of James Bond, which made those movies so fucking good.
It's just hard to not get
Yeah.
around that mold. Like Christian Bale's Batman, James Bond is Daniel Craig to most of our generation, so it's hard to break down those molds. But I think Daniel Craig does a fine job holding this. Josh Brolin, dude, he is on a generational run
Yeah.
right now.
It's
I mean,
actually insane.
his agent is unbelievable.
I didn't know
Again,
he was. I didn't know he was going to be in this movie. And when he
Neither
pops
did I,
up
but I was
as Monsignor
yeah.
Wicks, I was like, "What the fuck? When did he get hair?"
Yeah, he was almost more of a what the fuck than Mila Kunis playing a detective. But I'll save that for characters. So
It was a different kind of what the fuck.
yeah, yeah. Anything else entertainment wise? Like the suspense was good. I was hooked. I did not figure it out really until the end. I thought that there was something fishy going on with the what was the woman's name? Martha, right? Yeah, I thought Martha was a little fishy from the beginning, and Jeremy Renner was also kind of fishy from the beginning. He was sort of looking very anxious the whole time. I thought they could have maybe hid a bit of those pieces a bit more for me,
Yeah.
because once it started to unravel, it wasn't a big shock to me at the very end, but nonetheless, it all made sense. The motive all made sense. And the climax of the movie, when Josh Brolin does like a Jesus Christ impersonation, or they make it seem that way, that was very interesting. And at that point, I was a little confused.
Yes.
But
No.
it wasn't that twist. It just wasn't like that in that.
Yeah. The twist in this movie didn't hit as hard as it did in the original Knives Out or even Glass Onion for me personally. And I feel like I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, I was watching the movie and 30 minutes in I knew who it was going to be. I had a feeling Martha was involved somewhat. I think this movie did a great job with explaining the story from front to end, though, really well. Like,
Yeah.
you weren't necessarily watching it for the twist. I feel like if you're watching and paying attention to the movie, you can kind of see where it's leading, but the reason why the people did what they did, I think, was what made the movie actually decent in the end.
It had a bit of Murder of the Orient Express written into it, where that scene where Josh Brolin is just ripping all of the congregation members or just the church attendees at his house.
Yeah.
That sets up the, oh, all these people actually fucking hate this guy
Yeah.
and have a reason to, want to kill him or whatever. Let me ask you this. Did you for 1 second believe Josh O'Connor was the culprit when they were really pushing that from like minute 50 onward?
No, not at all.
I didn't.
Not at
No,
all.
I didn't.
I mean, he just seemed like too pure of a soul. I will say it caught me off guard when, as we were talking about in the beginning of the movie, when you're learning about all these characters through the lens of Josh O'Connor as he's like writing this out for Detective Blanc. When it finally hits that hard cut and Detective Blanc is like, "Why did you do it?" That caught me off guard when he said that. I was like, "Whoa, wait, what are you talking about? Why did he do it?" But then, of course, they explained that he was just hiding something to kind of save the image of Josh Brolin's character. But there wasn't really a
Right.
second in this movie where I thought, "Oh, Josh O'Connor definitely did it." I mean, everyone's fucking
Right.
blaming him. That would have been a crazy twist if it did end up being him, but
It would have just turned into a really mid movie
Yeah.
if it was him. But the one thing I did like, and this kind of ties into characters, so we can kind of go over there. I did appreciate how, despite the plethora of characters that we got, I thought there was almost too many. Mm-hmm. They did tell that story in the very beginning very concisely to where, again, I could not tell you what Kerry Washington's name, Jeremy Renner's character's name. I could tell Martha because they said her name a bunch of times, but we had all these like big time actors and actresses. Mila Kunis is in there. Couldn't tell you any of their character names. That's why I'm not as high
hey,
on
we had
characters. But I
Kaylee
liked-
Spaney in there.
Oh, Kaylee Spaney was Kaylee Spaney is fucking dope.
Yeah.
I think she's just a very good actress, as as you and I both
Yeah.
know.
Should have
She
been
was-
should have
she was
been Ellie.
solid.
Should have been Ellie.
Should have been Ellie. But it's the same type of deal with all of these movies. All these characters have some hidden past. They're just not revealing stuff to Benoit Blanc, and Benoit Blanc, he does a good job of just keeping this thing moving. I just didn't love the characters. The only one that really stood out was Josh O'Connor. I think he was the best one.
I
by
thought
a good
I
amount.
thought Josh O'Connor was really good. The only gripe I had is the fact that he was this like up and coming professional boxer that killed a guy in the ring. And when he's using the punching bag in the little shack, I'm watching him and look, I have no boxing background. But I've watched MMA, I've watched boxing fights. I was watching him hit that punching bag, I was like, this man's never thrown a punch in his life. He's standing there like it's like, oh Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
that,
pretty. It wasn't pretty.
that believable. No, it really wasn't. And again, Josh Brolin, he's just on top of the world right now. He's probably got the best agent in Hollywood because he is just in
Everything.
all the good, just all the good movies.
Yeah.
I think his last. I'm not on IMDb, but I think his last three projects are this, Weapons, and Dune 2.
That's solid. That's solid.
That's like a 50-60 million dollar check combined for those three movies. So props to you, Josh Brolin. I mean, you're an awesome actor too, and he does a good job just kind of playing a dickhead in this one. Not really the. I mean, Josh Brolin kind of he's very he has a like he's not typecasted in my opinion whatsoever. He can. We've seen him play just sort of a dickhead. In Weapons, he's way more concise and thoughtful. He's clearly rigid-minded in that movie, but in this one, he's just kind of leading a cult almost in this church.
And some of his
He's taken a
sermons,
lot-
it's like, Jesus Christ, this guy is. He's reminiscent of some strong political figures, it seems like.
Yeah, and he holds a lot of grudges with his family life, and the character makes sense though. I think the character makes sense. He ties deeply to all of these people who are just kind of stuck in their lives in this small circle of, I think it was New York, right?
Yeah.
Like upstate New York. So those pieces tied together, I think the characters made sense. I just wasn't a huge fan of how many there were because it was a lot to track, you
Yeah.
know. And they really didn't. They never really made it seem like Kerry Washington even did it,
No.
or like Kaylee Spaney. They were just there.
Yeah,
As
and
much as I
also,
like both of them.
I can't remember the actor's name, but I've definitely seen. He plays like Moriarty, I think, in the Sherlock
Oh yeah,
Holmes.
Andrew. That's Andrew. Fuck. It's like I should know his name. I think it's Andrew
But
Thomas.
Andrew Scott. Andrew Scott.
Scott.
He
I should have known
plays.
that. I was just watching Sherlock because it's on Disney now. Great show. I was just
Oh,
rewatching
love
the
that
first
show.
season.
I wish they made more, but I know they had. I know Benedict Cumberbatch and
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman both were like, "Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen." But yeah, he plays like a New York Times bestseller that, again, fell hard and is now just stuck in this cult. And he's basically just like dick sucking Josh Brolin the whole time. That scene,
They all are.
they all are. That scene where he's confronting all of them in that little church group, and Kerry Washington is like, "Yo, like the son or my apparent son is actually your son, and I've raised him for the past 20 years." And Josh Brolin just turns to him. He's like, "Ah, yes, my son." And then Andrew Scott's character is just like, "Hey, man, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Like, we'll always follow you."
Yeah, he doesn't kink shame. He's like, fuck it, dude. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Just keep preaching to me. Just tell me that I'm gonna be a good author, and I'm always gonna be a good author. So he's basically just brainwashing these people, but again, it all works. So let's move on to the cinematography because I kind of touched on it before. I love the silhouettes. Rian Johnson's kind of obsessed with these, but it's so good for these whodunits. We got the cross picture when, or just like the cross on the wall, like very symbolic at the beginning and the end. There's
Yeah.
literally no Jesus on the wall, and
No cross
obviously
even. It's just the
no cross.
yeah.
Yeah, just the imprint of where it was. And the very end, we see the crosses there, and then the jewels hidden behind Jesus because Josh Brolin was literally sacrificed himself to, you know, preserve this. Just keep people from obtaining the riches from his family, which is what he wanted all along. So that was I think that was a nice little touch to the end of the movie. It was very symbolic. Obviously, if you're Christian, you understand the Bible. You'll probably like how that ties in. I don't know if you'll like all the other stuff where he's basically a heretic, just talking nonsense to his congregation. But that was cool to me.
But I mean, Josh Brolin just wanted the riches for himself. Really, he was gonna take that money and dip. That's basically why
Yeah.
Martha killed him.
No, yeah, I'm sorry. I meant Martha is more so the sacrificial
Yes.
lamb because she's going down
Right.
in incarcerate, or she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kills herself.
Yeah. Kills herself. Dead. We had a pretty gruesome injury or pretty gruesome death to Jeremy Renner at the end too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, the music is not anything that stands out personally to me, but I just think the lighting of some of these scenes were very cool. Like when Josh O'Connor discovers them at the crypt, that scene was shot very cool. We just see the one fist. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Just the fist.
Coming out the
scene.
dark, knocks him out.
Yeah, it looked kind of weird, but I was into it. I think it was an effective way to show that.
I thought it
Again,
was
with
a
Josh
hilarious though cutscene where you see what happens, and he's like running up, and Jeremy Renner's talking to Samson, and he's like, "Holy shit! Like we can't let him see us." He's like, "Okay, boom."
And that guy's name is, I think, Thomas Church is his last name. Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah, he's in Tires.
Yes, yes.
You and I have been binging. He is so fucking funny in that. He's also Sandman from Spider-Man 3. I think those are the
Oh
only
wow,
things
yeah,
I've seen
good
him
pull.
in. Yeah, no, I noticed that when he was in was when he was in Tires. I'm sure Tires helped him land this role low key too, because he also plays like a very sarcastic, whimsical character. He's very funny.
Yeah,
That
he
guy.
is.
I'd love to see him with like maybe a Meet the Fockers type movie where he's the dad. I
Yeah.
don't know, something like that. I
That
think
would
he
actually be
play
really, really good.
Yeah, I just think that actor's super funny. All right, so let's do the writing. So, not really many plot holes, but I don't know if you wrote any down. I didn't find any glaring plot holes here.
No,
I just
no.
think that it didn't have that many twists as we were mentioning before.
It just wasn't
Pretty
up to par
straightforward.
as the other Knives Out movies to me. Like
Yeah,
none of
it's
the twists really landed for me. I thought the story in itself was told really well and honestly kind of uplifting at parts. I feel like there were a lot of instances throughout this story where you're following Josh O'Connor's character, and I mean, he's in the pits of hell, no pun intended, during this whole sequence. I mean, like, he's painted out to be this murderer, and all these people are just harping on him. And he's doing everything he can to prove his innocence, but there are glimpses throughout this movie where he realizes that he's kind of losing his faith a little bit. And um I think they do a really good job of like, I mean, they throw it right in your face, like the light starts shining through as he's talking about Jesus. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. But I think it was a cool touch that he realizes like his true purpose is following his faith. And he
right.
doesn't want to disalign himself with that by, trying to push blame onto others. He's really just trying to hold on to his faith as much as possible. And I thought that was really cool. But again, this didn't have the same pizzazz as the other Knives Out movies to me.
I agree. I mean, he's probably Ryan Johnson's probably just going for quantity over quality at this point.
Yeah.
I could see him pushing out, 3, 4 more of
I
these
mean, I hope they
because
do.
people,
I
yeah,
really like Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. I think, honestly, if they keep pumping out these movies, we could start talking about Benoit Blanc in the same light that we talk about, the Sherlock Holmes and the Agatha Christie's of the world. I'm sure there's so many people out there that will hate that comparison and just be like, oh, no, nothing will ever touch those. But it's like, I don't know, we got Hercule Poirot, we got Sherlock Holmes. Why can't we have Benoit Blanc be the next
he's
world
more
class
of a
detective?
he reminds me more of the Hercule Poirot, or I'm mispronouncing that. I think Sherlock has he's I won't foresee him taking over Sherlock
No,
because
no, of course not.
there's an added level there. I think that character is just so well developed, but the Agatha Christie movie not spin-offs they've been fine, but I think these
I think that
as a
they have
whole
been
have just been way
horrible.
better. Well, the
Murder
what
on the
was the
Nile
first
or
one?
whatever it was god awful.
Yeah, that one.
That's all
That
about.
one was god awful. I didn't see the one in Venice, the haunting in Venice, but the first one was okay. The Murder on the Orient Express, that was okay. But I also never read the book, so the ending was a bit of a twist for me when it was all of them. But yeah, I mean, this that's not a terrible comparison, I guess. At the end of the day, I don't mind just more whodunit movies. I think they're just
Yeah, I
interesting.
mean,
I
murder
like
mysteries are
detective
so
movies.
good. Like, I love watching them because you're
I
engaged the
don't
whole
think
time. You're like, who the fuck did it?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one too where it's centered around a congregation like this. I think that was one of the first times I've seen that rendition of a whodunit, but kind of a neat little touch. All right, let's score this. You ready?
Yeah.
So entertainment, I went 7.5.
Entertainment, I went 7-0.
Characters, I went 6.7.
Wow.
I didn't actually do
Hated
that on
that.
purpose.
Characters, I went 6-0.
Cinematography, I went 7.2.
Cinematography, I went 7-0.
And then writing, I went 7.1.
Writing, I went 6-5.
This was a solid watch. So we got 6.9 as our final score here. Go watch. Would you recommend it? Go
Yeah,
watch
of course.
Wake Up Dead Man. I mean, you don't even have to go to theaters to see it. Just
Exactly.
watch it on Netflix. It is a long watch. I don't know if that bothered you at all, but
I thought it was going to when I first turned it on and I saw it was 2.5 hours. I was like, holy shit. But it kept me engaged the whole time. And honestly, it didn't
yeah.
feel like 2.5 hours.
No, it didn't. It didn't. I mean, there's talking, a lot of talking, some action slash. Obviously, there's murder. So, if if that's up your if
You like
that's up your alley,
murder.
you'll probably like this. Yeah, if you like felonies, check this out, and go check out all of our other episodes. They'll be linked in our YouTube, or they're just on our YouTube. Our episode ratings for each movie will be linked on our YouTube and our podcast website, wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be back next Tuesday with another one. And until then, peace out.
Deuces.